we actually thought it was a really cool concept in terms of Sonic StraitJacket, something that actually keeps you sane, you know, music keeping you sane. So it's definitely been the case for all of us individually as musicians, and then probably the band as a whole, you know, over the time we've been together. So we really thought that was cool, and lots of people sort of jumped onto that idea and loved it too. So that's how we came up with it.
All right, so how many members are in the band?
We've got 4 guys in the band, so there's another Cam. He plays bass. It's actually very confusing for people.
Exactly. Because, like I said, when I went to one of these events, my girlfriend is huge into Five Finger Death Punch, and her favorite drummer in the world is Jeremy Spencer. And she told me that, you know, he does the double bass, and she's like, oh, not many do that. And then I did a little bit of research, and yeah, not many actually do that. And so I had a whole new level of respect for someone who did that, because, man, it was definitely insane. And I hope to be able to hear more music from, like, you guys and other people that aren't as worldly known that can kick like that. That'd be awesome. So let me ask you, are you guys signed to a label?
No, not at this stage. We're actually we're sort of in the beginnings in a way. I mean, Cam and I have been writing together for a very long time, and we've got a bank of probably about 300 songs, I guess.
Yeah, about that.
What?
Course, yeah.
So yeah, man. So we're just working our way through to find the best ones, and we're kind of rotating a few of them at gigs just to sort of see what people are into. But the boys have only been on board for a little while, and we only started playing shows in August. So it's been sort of going really well, and we're moving along really, really quickly. But no label as yet. We've had a little bit of interest with management and agencies and stuff like that, but record label's still elude us. But I don't know that you need one in this day and age.
You know what? I totally agree, and I've actually talked to a few bands that actually prefer to not have one until later down the road, which I thought was an interesting concept.
It would be awesome to have the financial support of a record label. Don't get me wrong, record labels out there. But yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, these days computers do incredible things, man. So you can engineer a whole record at home. You can release it yourself. You can promote it yourself on the internet. And you know, that whole DIY culture that sort of was started in punk in the 70s has become a big business these days. So it is possible to get out there and do your own thing and still sort of be able to pay the bills with your music.
Okay. So would you say, all right, I guess let me ask this. Have you guys recorded in a studio or just at home?
Well, a bit of both, actually. We're very blessed to have our drummer actually have his own little recording studio. So
nice.
He actually lives with a recording engineer. So the two of them actually sort of, I guess, went into what we call the dungeon and decided to sort of carve it out with musical instruments in there. So we rocked up one day and suddenly we've got this fully kitted out home studio, if you like, out the back of a house in Frankston. Which is a very peculiar area, which Dave might fill you in a little bit on.
It's great. It's great if you want to write a really dark, angry song to hang out in Frankston. It's what would you say? It's the boondocks. We've got a tollway out of Frankston now just to keep the locals in, because we know that they can't afford the tolls to get into the city. But it's a great place to write, because we write fairly angry music most of the time.
Absolutely, we're usually chased by people with pitchforks and torches at night, so it definitely keeps us on our feet. So that's where we basically do the most of our magic, actually, in a studio down in lovely Frankston. Okay.
Now, where in relation to you guys is Frankston?
Well, Frankston's sort of probably 60 kilometres, or what's that, about 40 miles or something from from where we are right at this very second. Cam and I both live quite close to sort of the city or the downtown of Melbourne. And Frankston is like the furthest outer suburb you can possibly imagine. If you probably the best way I can put it to someone from the States is if you put it in LA terms, we live downtown, and they live way, way, way out in the hills, sort of somewhere possibly towards the desert.
Okay. No, that helps a lot, actually. Now, what would you classify? I know this is a horrible question to ask, but what would you say is like your genre? Because I've heard so many different. I've heard so many different sub genres of metal or rock that it's just unreal. And I didn't know if maybe you guys classified yourselves in one, or you're just, hey man, we're just rock and roll.
Yeah, look, we are sort of we do sort of probably look at it as we're a rock and roll band.
I thought we were baby rock.
Baby rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, blue rock maybe.
What the hell's baby blue rock?
I don't know. It's we just show up and make noise. We're sort of very much on the idea of if it sounds good, do it. We do sort of like it heavy because we both love that kind of energy that you can bring to a live show with it. But to be honest, I think we've had sort of people try to define us. I know a lot of people have sort of come to us on Twitter and Facebook and that sort of stuff and gone, you guys sound like Alter Bridge, or you guys sound like Metallica, or throwing all these different band names at us. I think the best one we had was you sound like Alter Bridge if Nick Cave was the singer, which I don't know if Americans know Nick Cave, but that's probably the greatest compliment an Australian singer can ever have.
Nice.
But to be honest, I don't know. I'd say we're a rock and roll band, but obviously we do have sort of heavy stuff. I do a bit of screaming and that sort of thing. So you want to call it rock and roll, you want to call it metal. I don't mind what you call it.
Okay. All right. Now you referenced Alter Bridge, and this year was the first time I've seen them, and I found out they are a lonely 45 minutes from where I am. And
wow.
Yeah, so it was awesome to hear. It was awesome to hear like a hometown kind of band when I was out, and so I just thought that was really cool that you guys mentioned them of all the bands.
Yeah, Alter Bridge, for me in particular, Mark Tremonti I phrase it like that guy taught me guitar, actually. So I followed Mark ever since he started off in early Creed, and actually was a little Mark disciple, if you like, basically learning every guitar lick of his. And then when he started up Alter Bridge, I was absolutely blown away. And to watch that band just grow and take over the world, those guys deserve it, man, because Miles, Mark, all the rest of the guys in that band are just phenomenal.
I have a request to interview them also, but you have yet to hear anything. Now
they take their time, I hear.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that a bit. Now, what would you say some of your inspirations have been for the songs that you guys have written?
Yeah, cool. Well, inspirations for me, like musically, it is bands like Alter Bridge. For me, it's also bands like System of a Down. I'm a big Metallica fan as well, and then dabble into the heavier stuff. So I actually come from a technical death metal background, so I'll even draw on those inspirations and influences at times. I love Killswitch Engage too. So in terms of the music, that's where I sort of come from, my bread and butter. And then, yeah, I mean, in terms of, I guess, what we're trying to express is just, feeling and energy and intensity through everything we do.
Yeah. There's a fair bit of social commentary as well in some of our songs. I mean, lyrically speaking, but I think really we write about our lives and the lives of the people around us and and things we see out in the world. And I guess everybody probably does. But musical inspiration, band-wise, I mean, for me. I love Pantera. I love Dire Straits. I love AC/DC.
Wow, you're really going back.
Yeah, man. I'm a little bit older than Cam, but let's keep that quiet.
Told you it was baby rock, man.
Cam looks like he's barely old enough to smoke.
Well, I do have a beard. Like, come on,
It's on its way.
It's on its way. Exactly.
Yeah, but come on, I was 16 when I had mine looking like that.
All right, fair enough. I'm 15 then.
Excellent. Let's see. Now, has there been a lot of turnover in the band, or are you guys, new enough to where you're still basically starting out?
Yeah, we're still starting out. It's been fairly solid. We're the same 4 guys that we started with. Not that we started all that long ago. But to be honest, I think we've got a really, really good, really good feel within the band, and we all sort of bounce off each other, and there's good chemistry in there. So, all bands sort of talk about having those same guys go on and on and on forever. But it's really, really rare that you get the feeling that might actually happen in your band. So we probably think this is a long-term thing for all of us. So we're sort of looking forward to the future and looking forward to playing together for a long time.
Well, and that's always the goal, basically, is to, when you start something, you always want to. I mean, it's like when I started this show, my first co-host, I thought he was going to be with me a very long time, and I thought we were going to go a long time. Well, it's been 8 years now, and I've had 39 different co-hosts.
Wow.
So when I say that, when somebody straps into the deadliest co-host chair at radio, I ain't kidding. But whoever sits next to me always has a lot of fun, and we've always got a lot of stuff to laugh at. And then, of course, I introduce them to some new music, and despite because I know not all the bands that I interview, not everybody's going to like that music, because I'm willing to interview almost anybody that sounds good. And I know not everybody has the same musical taste I have, but when I sit down and I start talking to them, you get to learn a little bit of personalities. And there's only been one interview that I've ever done that wasn't top notch, where the guys came off looking like golden gods. And and that's what it's about. It's about making you guys look good so you guys can have your stuff promoted and talked about, because it's all about word of mouth.
It is, and it's something that we never forget, it's because of, guys like you, strapping into that chair and doing all that hard work, talking to bands, doing that research, that it allows us to kind of, then find new people, and our fans are everything, they mean the world to us, because without them, we just don't exist. So it's critical, like everyone involved in this, that, there is that love, respect, and appreciation going around, and it's certainly within this band, because we live for you guys.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned you just started doing, I can't say, is it shows or tours?
Yeah, shows.
Okay, so you just started doing shows in August. Now, is that just kind of like around Melbourne, or are you, looking to expand elsewhere in Southeast Australia, or, what's the plan?
The world.
Well, okay, obviously, that is the ultimate goal. I guess what I was referring to was more of the immediate future.
Sure thing. Look, we've been playing around Melbourne. Our first gig was actually in August, and we've been getting smashed with promoters and other bands wanting to have us along for a show, which has been absolutely awesome. We've got plans in the early part of next year to head up the east coast of Australia a little bit, and do some regional stuff around Victoria, which is the state we're in. But also, visit the other big cities, Sydney and Melbourne. But also, we've got a fair bit of interest in a couple of parts of Europe. I know Cam's getting a lot of people talking to him down around Portugal way and that sort of stuff. So it's not out of the question that we might just bugger off and leave the country sometime soon.
Okay, how many singles do you guys have available right now?
At the moment, we've got two singles out, so you can check them out on YouTube and all of our social media. So we decided to sort of go down the video route actually with these. So we just find that YouTube's a really cool interactive thing, and it allows people to see us doing what we're doing, and that's what we really wanted to portray, is that, yeah, we love rock and roll and doing all of that, but we're dudes who play instruments and have lives, and we really wanted to sort of let people in on that and actually see the process, right from the start, because Dave and I have been through bands that have sort of gone to higher levels and had, that reach overseas, internationally, and we actually wanted to sort of show the grassroots of it, because it's a process, and anyone can do it. So we've got a single called Rust currently, which is, I guess, a pretty hard-hitting rock and roll, almost country at times tune. And then we've got The Search for Meaning, which Dave will give you a little bit more info about, because he knows that song better than me.
Yeah, Search for Meaning, it's a bit of a political commentary, to be honest. I'm probably not the most political person in the world, but there are certain things that grab my attention, and one of those things in particular is at the moment, I sort of had a bit of a chuckle one night over a couple of beers that we're having a war on terror, and did anyone actually think about what war creates in the first place before we decided to do that? So it's a bit of a commentary on that, and sort of my feelings about that, and it's quite heavy. Cam provided some pretty heavy guitar for me, which is always nice. It lets me scream and shout and jump around, so it's good fun.
Okay, you've mentioned a couple different times that you scream during the songs. Now, my oldest daughter will be 21 at the end of middle of next week, actually, and
happy birthday.
She is, thank you. She is huge into that type, and
Cool.
I gotta ask, and I've asked her, and she just gives me this blah 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 definition. But I'll ask somebody who actually does it. Do you require any special training to be able to do that without blowing out your throat?
Yes and no. I mean, it is a technique, and it is very, very difficult to get right. I've done a lot of contemporary singing training, and I actually teach singing as well. So I switch between singing clean lines and screaming. But I guess the technical side of screaming is that you want to make sure that you're not really using your throat. It's all about producing the right amount of air underneath your vocal cords and making sure that they don't freak out as it comes through. But creating that sound, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on. The shape of your mouth makes a lot of difference to how the sound comes out, and it's really just practice. Same as, if you're going to be a jazz singer, if you're going to be a folk singer, whatever it is you want to do, it's just practice, and speak to some people who know what they're doing and practice what they tell you to do, and eventually it'll come along. Best advice I can give anyone out there is if it hurts, don't do it anymore. It's the worst thing you can do to your voice.
Yeah, but singing for, I don't know, when I try to sing for like 10 minutes straight, I'm stressing. I'm stressing after about 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, and it's like, okay, so if I'm supposed to stop there, I would never be able to sing.
Yeah, look, it takes a while to build your endurance up. I know I did a lot of work years ago, touring around doing solo cover shows, and when you're playing covers, like when you're playing other people's popular songs, usually you get booked for 3 and 4 hour gigs. So that really sort of helped me build my stamina up a lot, and I guess toughen up the vocal cords for the flogging that I give them these days. But yeah, it's the more you practice, the longer you can go, essentially.
Okay. So, cover songs. Is there any cover songs that I might know that you guys have done?
Well, we've done a lot of Aussie tunes that are popular here. Because Cam and I also do a bit of acoustic cover stuff away from the band, just for our own amusement, really, for a bit of fun. And but songs that you'd know, we do bust out a relatively wicked Gangster's Paradise on acoustic guitar. We're probably the only white guys that try to rap that song with an acoustic guitar.
We pull it off though, man.
Yeah, we pull it off.
That would be spectacular to hear. That would be spectacular.
We do that, and occasionally things just come out, when we're jamming around or when we're on stage. So I know a couple of times we've busted into I think Toxicity by System of a Down by accident.
Wow.
And then sometimes even something as heavy as Walk by Pantera, just for kicks.
And it's really, really funny because some songs, there's only so many keys and so many chord progressions, so some songs sound exactly like other songs. One of the ones that we're having a lot of fun with now, and just might just let a little secret drop, that we're thinking about maybe recording it and throwing it out there just for fun, is that Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up and Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit sync up perfectly. They're the same tempo and the same key. So I was thinking about singing that while the guys play Teen Spirit.
Now, I've never heard of that first one, but obviously I know Nirvana. So I would definitely be interested in hearing that.
It's a British song, and it's a wonderful love song.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It will bring a tear to your eye, Big Red.
Wow.
Wonderfully generic.
That's awesome. Now, okay, you guys said you had almost 300 songs that you guys have done. Now, do you guys write those together, or is there one of you that writes more?
Yeah, we have a combination of both, I guess. Sometimes Dave and I will just hang out, and stuff will come out. So even this morning, we're just sort of sitting here hanging out, and a couple of tunes just sort of knock on our door, if you like. And then, occasionally we'll definitely bring sort of ideas and concepts individually into the band. So I know that, me in particular, I probably songwrite for breakfast, almost. That's more important to me than having my cereal and my Captain Crunch in the morning. So,
Captain Crunch.
Yeah, yum. It's just the way we roll. Like we love to write music, and it's something that we will never stop doing. I know that until the day I die, I will be writing music.
That's awesome. That's the kind of passion I like to hear, and you don't hear that all the time, especially from the bigger bands. They've been around the block. It's you don't hear about them talking about the fire that's inside them anymore. It's like, okay, the flame is starting to flicker, but it's still going, and that's one thing I definitely enjoy with speaking with these bands that I bring on my show is, the fire is so strong, and it's so pumped up, and you guys are so excited to do, like maybe a county fair. Yeah, it's small potatoes. It's small potatoes, but hell, it's a foot in somebody's door.
Can you imagine if we got booked at a county fair? There'd be grandmothers having heart attacks. It'd be awesome.
Well, don't get me wrong. There's no doubt about that, but there have definitely been some that have been like that, especially around here. I happened to be driving by one, earlier this summer, and I was just like, "Wow, really?" It's like, I bet you there's little kids there. And sure enough, though, when I went to these music festivals that were weekend long, there was kids between the ages of probably 5 and 12 that I'm just like, really? That young?
Yeah, we are and this is the thing, we just want to spread, our love for music. So, I've played to sold out shows in Tokyo myself. I know Dave's played some pretty big shows in his time too, and it doesn't matter if it's that or if it is, playing to a couple of locals or even just some kids at a county fair, like it's the same thing that we're bringing every time, like, and that's just our love for music.
Yeah, I think it goes back to you sort of remember where you were at when it all sort of started. And I know, like for me, my first musical memory is that my big brother came home with AC/DC's Back in Black, and I heard Shook Me All Night Long for the first time. And listening to Angus Young play guitar and Brian Johnson singing. I actually thought Brian Johnson was a girl until I was about 12, and I saw a picture of him because he just sings so high. No, he's definitely not. But he sings so high. And I was about 4 years old at that time, and I still remember hearing that, and I still remember the feeling that I got from that. And if we can pass that on to a couple of kids out there, then hey man, that's as much as we can probably ask for,
Oh yeah, definitely. Now here's a off the wall question, and the reason I'm asking this is because I've seen you guys sipping on some water during this interview, mm-hmm. And okay, during like one of your shows, approximately how much water would you guys say you drink during a show?
Well, we're trying to get an endorsement from Gatorade, actually. Have one of those. What do you call them? Those big orange tubs.
Yeah,
NFL.
I want like a 60-gallon Gatorade when I go on stage.
Yeah.
Nice. But I mean, if say for example, it's a standard pub show in Australia anyway is 40 minutes per band. In 40 minutes, I'll drink 3 bottles of water and probably 3 scotches as well.
Well, the scotches are a must, especially when you're jamming some tunes out. But wow, 3 bottles of water in 40 minutes. That's pretty good. That really is.
Yeah, it gets really, really hot under the lights, and this is a hot country too. So.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Has Nathan done like a drum solo? I mean, because I know all drummers have got that. That they've. I'm sure they practice in their bedroom, just thumping away. And, has he done one at a show?
Yeah, we gave him his moment, because we know that every drummer wants that. They want to do the whole thing from Wayne's World, in the middle of the in the middle of the shop where it's just them, and then it's the I like to play at the end of it. So we gave Nath that opportunity at one show, and it ended up going for probably a good 8 minutes or so. So we just kind of kicked back and then I think topped up on our water and our scotches and then, came back on and played the rest of the set out. Nice.
That's that's crazy stuff. All right, so let's see. You guys are on, obviously, Twitter. Do you have a Facebook page?
Yeah, we do. Just all you got to do is search Sonic StraitJacket. Just for some people out there, we didn't actually realise this when we came up with the name, but no one knows how to spell straitjacket. There's no GH in there. It's STRIATJACKET. So if you're searching for Sonic StraitJacket, spell it that way and you will find us. Also, I believe we have an Instagram, but I'm a bit of a nuff with Instagram.
Well, so. Dave's old, so he hasn't jumped on the Instagram thing yet. 15-year-olds like me really like Instagram, so I'm trying to get Dave into this, but slowly we'll wean him onto it. So we're building up the Instagram. So if you want to help us out with that, kiddies, jump on board, and we will. What do they do on there? Do they like stuff?
I think you love stuff.
You love stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you love stuff. You can comment. I've only put up like 6 or 8 pictures myself on Instagram, so I'm new myself. I'm better. I'm a little better with Twitter now. I'm starting to get down the basics. Obviously, Facebook I've been using since they came out, and so let's see. So who's the technical wizard? Who's your technical wizard? Is it Cam?
It's probably Nath, really.
Yeah, I think Nath, our drummer, he loves video games and locks himself in at night, like on his computer, so it's definitely Nath.
So it's Dave, the old man, and then the 3 kids?
Sometimes it feels that way, man. Definitely sometimes at rehearsal, it's weird when you show up to a rehearsal and you're sober and you're looking at the other guys going, I remember being as drunk as you. But no, it's I mean, everyone in the band sort of takes responsibility for their own area. I know Cam and I are probably the most active ones as far as like the songwriting and social media goes. Nathan tends to do a lot of the technical work, and Cam Argate, the bass player, he's sort of almost like our booking agent these days as well. So he's out there putting the shows together and making sure that everything runs smoothly for us. So I think everybody's sort of got their role. I don't think I old man too much, do I?
Sometimes he brings in his walking stick, you know, like his
there
cane.
You go. There you go.
Yeah, so yeah, like he does, you know, play up the old man card a little bit. We try and sort of take that off him and give him a microphone stand instead.
Hey, you know what? You're only as old. You're only as old as you feel, and you know I'm 40. I probably look. I've actually been told I look 50, but I act like I'm my son's age. I'm 12. You know, especially when I'm doing my show and I start drinking, I act like a little 12-year-old.
Cool. Yeah.
I think that's probably my default setting too. Actually, I usually have a pretty serious beard going on, but it's November. I don't know if you guys in the States practice Movember. Where you grow a mustache and try to raise money for men's health, but it's Movember right now in Australia, so I've got the mo going on, and everyone's going, man, without that beard, you look so old. I'm like, usually with the beard, you still look like you're kind of 18 maybe, and you know, now that you've got a mo and I can see all the crap that was underneath your beard, it's a bit sad, man.
Okay, so do you guys have any shows coming up that we can let everybody know about?
Yeah, we do. We've actually got two pretty cool shows coming up. So we're playing at one of our favourite venues, the Espy, which is this beautiful, scenic, I guess, old 1940s Australian pub right on the beach in St Kilda down here. So St Kilda's a beautiful spot. So people who like to get nice and romantic, watch the sun go down, having a couple of beers, and then come on inside and get their
faces melted off.
Exactly,
nice.
By some hard rock. So that's one of our favourite venues, and we feel very graced and blessed to sort of play the stage there again. So that one's coming up on the 5th of December.
We've also got one 28th.
Yeah.
28th of November. I'm really bad at dates, so I always have to confirm these things. The 28th of November, Mr. Boogeyman Bar, which is also a bit of a favourite. That's in Abbotsford for anyone from Melbourne that hasn't been there. But also a bit of a favourite. It's quite a small venue, but it has an awesome reputation for heavy music.
It's very intimate.
It's intimate. Yes, it is. And also, you know, they let us kind of do what we want there. So if I want to get up on the bar and sing, then that's fine. No one seems to care, which I kind of like. Nice.
Yeah, no, the reason I asked that is because I actually do have some listeners that are in Australia. I'm not too familiar with, you know, where everything is, but I've always had a fascination with the country, and I don't know exactly why, but it's definitely one place I've always wanted to visit, and I still hope to have that dream come true as soon as I get over my fear of flying.
Yeah, that'll help. That'll help because we are a long way from the States.
Yeah, someone told me it's close to a 20-hour trip or something like that.
It is.
Yeah. Well, I know Cam and I have both spent a lot of time in the States, and I've got to tell you, man, it takes about 3 days to recover. So if you've got a quick stopover and you know maybe you're playing a couple of gigs and you're only going to be in town for less than a week. Man, it's hard work.
Excellent. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for being on with us on this great day.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
And
love what you do. Love the opportunity, and yeah, man, it's exciting for us, you know.
Well, like I said, it's all about getting the word out there, and I hope to be able to do that for you guys. And I would love to have you back at some point in the future to kind of follow up and see where you guys are.
Absolutely.
Sure, man. We'd love to.
Excellent. So if you guys could do me one favor before we say goodbye, if you could say, who you are, what band, and you're listening to Hellcast Radio.
Sure thing. This is David Cam from Sonic StraitJacket. You're listening to Hellcast Radio. It's awesome!
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys.
Cool.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Big
man.
Red.
Talk to you soon.
Cheers. See you, buddy.